I think my juices flow all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know as much as I know.
Right now, we've been able to stuff the stuff.
The curse is broken. NC State fans, finally. Finally.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
I mean, that's a triple play.
Wolfpack ain't for soft. It ain't for soft people.
All right, welcome to another edition of Law of the Wolf. I'm your host, Joe Giglio, and thanks again to Savage Wolves for providing us with our guest this week. That's Brennan Armstrong. He's a graduate transfer quarterback. Brennan, welcome to Raleigh. I know you're still relatively new here. Welcome to the Law of the Wolf podcast, and thanks again to our guy, Tom Lavolsi, and the Savage Wolves NIL. If you're not familiar, they're what is making NC State football go right now. So go check them out at savagewolvesnil.com. Brennan, appreciate you taking some time this week. Just give me a little bit of the lay of the land, man. I know this is year 6 in college, probably not what you expected coming out of high school all those years ago. But here you are, and just kind of your initial thoughts of Raleigh and your initial thoughts of NC State after going through spring practice.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having me on here. Yeah, like you said, kind of not expected. You know, you come out of high school, you're looking to be a starter right away, and then, you know, you figure out your lane. You know, I backed up for about 2 years, then became the starter, and I'm like, all right, here we go. This is the time. Get out of there in 2 years, maybe 3, and then, you know, the 6th year is right here in front of me. So, no, I'm super grateful. Super grateful for NC State giving me an opportunity here. Like I said, things just didn't work out at Virginia, so I was looking for a new home, and Coach Doran and the staff and the players welcomed me with open arms. The transition was very smooth, honestly. I've been living, like I said, I've been living by myself for quite some time now, away from home, being originally from Ohio. So the transition wasn't hard at all. Once I kind of got settled in, you know, it was just like living anywhere else. So it's been great so far. I enjoyed Raleigh. I enjoyed the team. The guys, you know, we're kicking into gear this summer, just trying to, you know, build chemistry upon the spring ball game and then just spring practice in general. So it's good. I'm just looking forward to keep working and keep building, putting a good product on the field this season.
Obviously, you have a connection to NC State's offensive coordinator, Robert Anae. He was at Virginia for your first 3 years at Virginia, right?
4. Recruited me.
4. Okay, so yeah, year 5, he goes up to Syracuse. So yes. People are always fascinated with the play caller. People are always fascinated with, you know, who's going to be the guy who moves all the chess pieces. And yeah. I feel like for both the fans and your teammates, you are now a Robert Anae expert, and maybe can explain a little bit about your coach and just maybe your first impression of meeting him and seeing some of the things that he did with Bryce Perkins. I'm sure was one of the selling points at Virginia, and just kind of how you've learned and evolved with Coach Anae over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can go back to being 18, being recruited by him. The landscape, I guess, of the offense when I stepped in, we knew we were going to be like a running offense. You know, they've seen like the Taysom Hills, and so they were incorporating that when they had Bryce, the guy that was starting before me, Perkins, who's with the Rams now. The offense looked different compared to when I kind of stepped in, and it was just different, you know. So he is really good at adapting just to his players, and especially the quarterback. I mean, that's his big thing, is making the quarterback play easier on him, getting everyone around him to be playing at a very high level and playing fast. I guess a little bit into his personality. I've said this before, but, you know, my first couple years at Virginia, we bucked heads all the time. I mean, he was on me, really grinding me. And so being a youngster, I didn't really like that. As the years have went on and we've worked, you know, like 4, now this is going to be our 5th year together. It's great. I mean, those are the types of relationships, you know, everyone talks about tough love, and, you know, you hear that. And he worked with me when I was young, and now we're becoming, you know, we worked together for another 3 years more. But it's funny. I wanted to see what some of the guys say if anybody gets a chance to talk to him about Coach Anae. He just has a funny personality, a way of describing things. You know, he goes about football in a fun way, but a really, focused way. I mean, we were just in meetings and talking about meetings in spring ball, and he just has a funny nature about himself. I really can't pinpoint. I'm pretty sure guys will have plenty of funny stories after, you know, they get to have him as a coach and be in meetings with him. But I would just say he's creative, super creative, puts guys in positions to make plays. I mean, a lot of guys, at least the NC State fans saw what he did at Syracuse against their defense, which, I mean, NC State's defense was lights out. And he just kind of put things together and got the job done on the offensive side. So that's awesome knowing that he's on our team now and he's with us. So I'm just looking forward to see what we can do with the guys we have here and putting this thing together to where we're just dynamic, even just a little bit of dynamic as an offense can go a long way, especially with our defense. So I'm super excited. A new group of guys. I worked with the same guys at Virginia for quite a long time. So we kind of build it up on stair steps. We're looking to come in here year one and make something happen. I mean, he did it at Syracuse. The guys here, they're looking to improve. They're eager. They know they want to, be the reason they win games this year. We win games this year. So, yeah, I'm just super excited. I don't know what it's going to look like. We're building, but I have a decent idea what it's going to look like. Yeah.
You better than anyone else. Has it been – have a lot of your new teammates come up to you and asked you questions? Maybe the other quarterbacks, MJ or some of the other receivers or running backs have been like, okay, well, what does this mean? Or is his system I don't know. How difficult is his system, do you think, to pick up?
Super easy. That was one thing, like knowing that he was here and knowing how easy it is to transition, even though it's a 1 year, like him coming in the first year and like, how guys are going to pick up on it. The way he teaches it, the way, we call these things, one of the easiest things I've ever seen to transition from just a 1 year stint. Like I said, you kind of saw that at Syracuse too. But I think like the main thing was, me knowing the offense, because the offense has a little bit of tweaks, but I know 95% of it, besides some of the 5% that, they've added. They've called something different. But it was a good talking point, just get to know the guys. We're just talking about the offense a lot. I'm coming in trying to be a great teammate, just be a resource for the guys trying to learn. And that was an easy way to just connect with the guys, just continuing to talk about the offense. The lingo has basically stayed the same. There's maybe a few things have changed, but I can help coach them and, build a connection with our guys just by talking about an offense.
Housekeeping. This is year 3 of an NC State podcast for me, and it would not be possible without the Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Hayes Lancaster and his crew. Hayes is a true OG, a true State fan. You can find him in that RV lot. He can also help you get rid of the ants in your house. He can get rid of the termites outside your house. Maybe you just don't want those mosquitoes hanging around in your backyard so you can enjoy your lawn, enjoy your house. Here's what you do. Call Mosquito Authority, 919-807-1951. That's 919-807-1951. Go check them out at bugsbite.com. Hey, if you got ants, if you got bugs, if you got mice, if you got moisture, whether it's below your house, whether it's in your attic, Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, Hayes and his crew can do it all. Check them out at bugsbite.com, or you can find them on Twitter at NoMosquitoNC. If you've been to Carter Finley Stadium, you've been to the Breeze Through right across the street there on Edwards Mill Road. But there's way more to Breeze Through than just the one by the arena and the stadium. They got 17 locations throughout North Carolina. You're never too far away from a Breeze Through, fueling your next commute, road trip, tailgate, or adventure. They're on Pool Road in Raleigh. So when you go to a show this summer at Walnut Creek, check them out. They're also in Cary, Apex, downtown Smithfield, and Garner. The Breeze Through crew has you covered no matter where your summer plans take you. So total coincidence, I went to Oak City Sports Cards this week. I picked up a box of Bowman U Chrome cards, okay? I'm opening these cards hoping to get CJ Stroud, trying to get Bryce Young, trying to get all the quarterbacks. I got all the quarterbacks, including this week's guest on the Law of the Wolf, Brennan Armstrong. Gotta say it was pretty cool. Got a bunch of I got all the quarterbacks. I got Jameer Gibson's auto too. So if you're looking for sports cards, Weston at Oak City is the guy. You can buy, sell, trade, get your cards graded. It's super important to get the maximum value for cards that you have them graded. So go check out Weston in downtown Raleigh. They're right there off of Glenwood Avenue, or go to oakcitycards.com. Weston is the best in the business. I got a fair and honest deal from him for my cards, and I guarantee he'll do the same for you.
You mentioned, I just want to go back real quick to Virginia. You said it didn't work out, but I know it's difficult to divorce the last thing that you saw. And obviously last year was was difficult. I mean, no one needs to sugarcoat that. You're a grown ass man now. You know all these things. Yeah. But you had 2 really good years with Coach and I, and with Virginia. Obviously, the one in 21 is the one most people, including my colleague Mike Glennon, remember and gush over, with 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,449 yards. Like, Brennan, you were slinging it in 21, man.
Yeah, man, it was a fun year. Things were just, it was clicking. And I know that's what, it can happen anywhere with this offense. If it's clicking, it's going. It was a fun year. You thought 2020 was a good year?
I did. Yeah. 18 and 11, 2,100 yards. I mean, listen, 2020, you know better than I do. 2020 was a pandemic. I mean, you guys were keeping the lights on at these universities. You know, University of Virginia owes you a little debt of gratitude, my friend, because, and same thing with the players here at NC State, because that pandemic was no joke. And I'm sure it was a grind, and being in the isolation the way that you guys were, and yet still going out and performing the way that you did. Again, I'm just looking at a snapshot of numbers here, but I do remember some of the games. And Brennan, you got to give yourself some credit here, man. You put up some good numbers in 2 really difficult years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I like 21. 21 was great. Like I said, personally, I didn't think 2020 was great. So I was like, wanted to go that extra year, put 2 great seasons back to back. And then, like I said, I wanted to end, like, I think I've said this on multiple different occasions, just ended my career there. And it didn't happen because, you want to start and finish there. It was kind of, that place made me who I was and who I am today. So wanted to finish there, and it didn't work out. And now we're here, and I am going to give everything I got to put on a show for these fans here. So I think we can get this thing done and really have a special season.
I know it seems elemental, but it also seems true that a lot of people say, well, Brennan had a great season in 21. Coach Mendenhall was there. Coach and I was there. 22, completely different coaching staff, completely different offensive line. We don't need to blame anybody. An entirely different offensive line. No one is going to have success in a system like that. But is it as simple as, do you think, as being back with Coach and I and being back in kind of a comfort zone after a turbulent year, or is that maybe too elemental, too easy of a talking point?
Well, I think being a quarterback and playing the game as a quarterback, a lot of it has to do with your mental. I mean, I think that's your biggest thing. I mean, every guy in the roster here at NC State, every guy around the country can throw football at the quarterback position if you're at a Division I college. There's a lot to do with just mental and a lot of stuff that you don't see that really adds value to while you're playing. And I guess you can say, I think that, there's a lot of comfortability with Anai, knowing kind of how he is, and just the scheme. It brings a lot of comfortability back to me, and it just kind of frees me up a little bit. I felt like I was just playing up, just that I felt robotic last year. Just, it is what it is. A lot of new stuff, a lot of new things happening. A little out of my comfort zone, which is great. I mean, I think going through a year like that is very good for me. Hopefully in the long run, I think none of that happens. I don't think anything happens for a reason, if that's how you say it. I think everything happens for a reason.
There you go.
So I think even having that year and not how I wanted to turn out prepared me for this year, next year, however long football takes me, and just life in general. Because coming off a super high and then just getting really beat down the next year. I mean, that's just part of life. So I'm pretty sure I can handle anything that comes my way because, when you give your heart and soul into this game and it really tears you down, that's why you got to respect it.
Housekeeping. Summer is the time to find a new home and get your family settled for next school year. So if you're a State fan and you're looking to buy a home or sell your home, please go with Hometown Realty. Check them out. It's myhtr.com. They got all of your real estate needs, residential, commercial, rental, you name it. Barry Woodard's team has more than 250 agents in 6 locations. They're in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Selma, and Atlantic Beach. If you're looking to buy or sell, check them out at myhtr.com. You can also do this the old-fashioned way. Give them a call, 919-550-7355. That's myhtr.com. And of course, once you buy that house, you're going to need a lawyer to help you close on that house. That's where Whitaker and Hamer come into play. Josh Whitaker, Joe Hamer, they got more than 20 years of experience. They can help you close on a house. They can help you start a business, sell a business, anything that's family law related. Check them out in Raleigh, Clayton, Fuquay, Morehead City, and then, of course, all of the G's, Goldsboro, Gastonia, and Garner. Josh is a big State fan. Please, he's surrounded by all Carolina and Duke grads. Go support Josh in Whitaker and Hamer. It's wh.lawyer. That's wh.lawyer. You can also call him at 919-772-7000. Yes, there are lawyers that are State fans. It's important that you support him at Whitaker and Hamer.
Brennan Armstrong, NC State quarterback, joining us here on the Law of the Wolf on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Do me a favor. You need a car, get off your keister, head down to Heister. All right, Brennan. So you mentioned the 2020 season, and that's the only time you actually were on the field against NC State. It's so weird to me to be in the same conference and not see teams, and you were actually lucky at Virginia to actually play against NC State, given the old division rotation. And I'm curious, which of the former NC State players, defenders, will you talk to first? I feel like Aleem McNeil owes you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's number one. And then number two would be like Tanner Engel. Like, I didn't love the hit. And I think Tanner learned from that season and all the penalties that he had. But is that just part of football? Or did you kind of go looking around the room trying to find number 10 going, hey?
No, it's part of football. I mean, was I expecting that hit to happen? No, because I was kind of getting out of bounds, so I was kind of eased up a little bit. But no, it's part of football. I can't. It is what it is. You know, it's funny. If I sit and watch football, I'm like, dang, why do they call that a flat? Or they call a penalty on a guy just getting crushed. And it's just like, as a fan, you're like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes people are like, oh, we got to protect the players, which I totally understand too. I get both sides. There's always a fine line to the violence of the game and also protecting players. But no, shoot, I can't get mad. He's just playing football. I mean, you're playing fast and violent. I mean, things happen. You're running off instincts, and shoot, it's no big deal. No big deal. It only took me out for a game, so I'm not going to complain too long.
Perfect. I know a lot of people talk about older people. I'm 48. Okay, so we'll put me in that category. Talk about, oh man, NIL, the transfer portal. It's the end of college sports. But here I am looking at your situation, and I'm going, now wait a second. Your fourth year, which would have been, you redshirted your first year, right?
Yeah. So
okay. So your fourth year, your coach suddenly retires, like out of the blue.
Yeah.
So you play your fifth year, which you had. Okay. And then you play, and it was a difficult season. But now, given the COVID year, you have an extra year of eligibility. You're able to use it. You're able to go to another program. You're able to make a little bit of money from NIL, and you're able to extend your career and put yourself in a position to potentially set yourself up to play in the NFL. What am I missing here? Why is this a bad thing? Like, from a player's perspective, like, why is the rest of the world losing their mind? And can you please speak for the players for me and explain to the rest of the world, like, hey, we should have some rights too?
No, I totally agree. And I think I was in both segments. I was in both eras of college of not getting paid, working your tail off just to be the starter, to then now guys coming in and getting paid as fresh, like just all this, this new world basically. I think it's great. I think guys deserve it. I mean, the time we put in, it's flat out a job. I mean, I think most people can realize that it's basically a job for, us college athletes, anybody across the board. We're not just football. I think the biggest concern, I mean, this is just my personal opinion, like just making sure like the NIL world doesn't just screw everything up in a sense of like, it's just team. Like, you got to still be a team. And that's what people are really worried about. I think not at NC State, but I think I've watched plenty of videos on this thing. It's like, everyone's like, oh, what's the team going to be like? Now people get money, and then there's this guy and then that guy. And it's like, I think at least NC State and what they're doing, and along with Savage Wolves and the things they're doing to promote what NIL is going to be good for especially NC State and the players here on the football team. I think they've done it the right way. I think what they're building, because it is kind of new, like last year was the first year of it to be, legal. What they're trying to build here for it to be a long lasting effect for the players and NC State and their recruiting and whatever it may be. I think, Tom Lavolsi at the head of it and what he's doing is the best that I've heard of from other schools and like seen so far. Just the way it's going about it, like how he goes about it. And that's funny. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're there, duh, you're going to promote it. Well, I've heard a lot of different things. I've seen, heard. I got friends in different teams, and just I'm pretty lucky, and I think I'm pretty lucky, and I think I picked a great place because at the end of the day, my decision to come here wasn't because of NIL. It was because I'm looking past that. I want to have an impact in the field, and those are my goals. Money is money. It will come eventually. If I keep working hard, then it's kind of what I built myself on is hard work. If I work hard enough, I'll eventually obtain some wealth. But that wasn't the main reason why either.
Don't you think at a certain level though that you've earned a piece of it, right? Like especially when you think back to that 2020 season, like I said, the stands were empty. All the money was made through TV deals because you guys were willing to live in a dorm when no one else was on campus and participate in a activity when really no one else was doing anything else. I mean, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm just looking at it kind of intellectually, right? I mean,
in a sense, like I said, it is a job. Like I treat it as a job now. I mean, I'm older. I'm an older guy. I've graduated and done all the schooling, and like in a sense, I'm kind of I go about my day treating it like a job.
Sure.
Take care of your body, all the extra stuff that you see a lot of the NFL guys doing, like off the field training, and that's how I treat it now. When I look back on the last 5 years, I'm like, dang, I have put a lot of work in, and so I guess my 6th year, it's kind of cool that I can make some change from it. So when I look back, I'm like, you know what? After all those 5 years, it's pretty cool at the end of my career that I'm able to make some money. In a sense, yeah, I do feel like I've worked pretty hard, so it is cool, and I deserve it a little bit. But shoot, from all the guys that never was able to enjoy the NIL world now, I mean, I guarantee they work just as hard, if not harder than I. So, I mean, in all honesty, we're just lucky. Like we just are at the right time and moment to have this money, being able to be there and earn it through what we're doing. So it's weird. Some people may not like it. Some people may like it. At the end of the day, they have jobs and they get money. I'm pretty sure. I mean, if they were doing what we're doing, they'd probably want some moolah.
They'd want to be compensated for their efforts as well.
We're pretty lucky playing the game of football. So a lot of different perspectives. Like we're damn lucky to be playing the game of football and being able to make some change from it.
Brennan Armstrong, NC State quarterback. Again, check them out. It's SavageWolvesNIL.com. They got memberships. You get people to sign up, right? Corporate sponsors. You want to get involved in the Savage Wolves. Check them out again. It's SavageWolvesNIL.com. Brennan, appreciate you taking some time, man. When does everybody report? Is it the first summer school session or the second summer school session where you guys will be back?
We're already full tilt. I mean,
okay.
We've been working out for 2 full weeks now. We're going on to our 3rd because we got out early, so we came back early.
Okay. And that's with Thunder?
Yep, Coach Thunder.
How's that been?
It's been awesome. Like I said, I'm not kidding you. Everybody in this program, I mean, they welcomed me with open arms, and just being an older guy, just coming and put my head down to work. And, at the end of the day, Coach Thunder just loves, hard work. And that's the thing. So it's been great. I can't think, from nutritionists to academics to the cafeteria ladies that are serving us our lunch and breakfast. Like they've all been awesome. Like it's been a great time here so far.
Brennan, I appreciate you taking some time this week. And again, we'll do this again real soon. And one more plug: SavageWolvesNIL.com. Brennan Armstrong on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Brennan, appreciate you taking some time. We'll talk again soon.
Appreciate you.
I think my juices flow all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know as much as I know.
Right now, we've been able to stuff the stuff.
The curse is broken. NC State fans, finally. Finally.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
I mean, that's a triple play.
The Wolfpack ain't for soft. It ain't for soft people.